think you know loneliness, but you don't. Not the kind Carl Jung discovered. Not the kind that turns children into walking X-ray machines who see through everyone but stay invisible themselves. If you grew up feeling like a ghost in your own family, surrounded by people who never really saw you, Jung found something terrifying about what happened to your brain. Today I'm revealing how childhood emotional invisibility doesn't just wound you, it weaponizes you. And the hyper-independence you're so proud of. Jung called it a survival mechanism that's slowly destroying your ability to ever truly connect. Let me paint you a picture. Consider a composite example based on patterns Jung observed across multiple cases. A child sits at the dinner table. Parents are physically present, but emotionally somewhere else. The child learns quickly that crying doesn't bring comfort. Asking for attention brings annoyance. Needing anything makes everyone uncomfortable. So the child stops needing, stops asking, starts watching instead. This is what Jung called the emotional vacuum. Not abuse that leaves bruises, not abandonment that makes headlines, just the quiet absence of emotional presence. Parents who feed you but never see you. Siblings who share your space but never know your heart. A house full of people where you learn to raise yourself. The child becomes what Jung documented across his clinical observations as the little adult. The kid who never throws tantrums because they figured out tantrums don't work. The teenager who handles their own problems because asking for help feels like speaking a foreign language. The young adult who seems so mature, so independent, so together. But here's what nobody tells you. That wasn't maturity. That was adaptation to emotional starvation. And your brain literally rewired itself to survive it. Modern neuroscience has validated what Jung observed in his practice. When children grow up in emotionally absent environments, their neural pathways develop differently. The parts of the brain responsible for reading social cues become hyperactive. The regions that process emotional data go into overdrive. It's not psychological theory anymore. It's measurable brain development. Jung discovered these children don't just survive their loneliness. They develop something he called differentiated perception. While other kids learn social skills through normal parent-child bonding, the invisible child learns something else entirely. They learn to read the room like a battlefield. When you can't rely on people to tell you the truth, you learn to find it yourself. When you can't trust that someone will notice you're struggling, you learn to notice when they're struggling instead. When emotional safety never comes from others, you create safety by knowing exactly what everyone around you is thinking and feeling. The invisible child becomes the scanner, an emotional surveillance system.
It's so quiet here, and I feel so cold. This house no longer